screen share
Yes.
for you real quick because I'm
Okay.
just gonna screen share this for you real quick because it is absolutely amazing. And present.
On it. Oh,
I can't do this justice for anybody on on the audio listening, but if you want to check out the video, you can. This is a picture of Stephen Amell when he was in high school.
I'm not even getting the picture.
What are you talking about?
How do you use this?
Hold up. Let me oh no, you know what? I got screen share. Hold on. Entire screen. This is gonna look a little funky for a millisecond.
I'm ready.
9th grade, Stephen Amell with a wedding garter on his head.
Everybody goes through their awkward phase.
I was going to say, I mean, I don't want to be mean because Stephen Amell actually interacts with people on social media, but man, I guess there is hope for everybody.
Well, that was him in 9th grade.
That's my point.
Like,
yeah, well, I mean, I was weird in 9th grade too. All right, I'm gonna stop.
I don't think I'll ever be Stephen Amell, but yeah, no, I understand.
That was funny. So, all right, that was just a weird little tangent. Welcome back to the TYF DC Debrief, your one-stop shop for all your Detective Comics lore and TV. Now with an added flavor of Brandon Routh-shaped tater tots.
The best kind.
Yeah. Might be a little crunchy. It's probably the bone. I'm Evan Griffin. Hosting along with me via Google Hangouts is Allie Johnson.
Hi.
And we're going to discuss 3 episodes of DC TV today. We're going to talk about the 3rd episode of Supergirl entitled Fight or Flight. The Flash season 2 episode 6, Enter the Zoom. And Arrow season 4 episode 6, Lost Souls. Do we want to talk about our crossover episode coming up?
Sure.
What is that?
It's in the
December 2nd. So it's in a handful of weeks. And it's as it was revealed last week to me, we suddenly have Hawkman and Hawkgirl that are going to be in our DC lore, and they're probably going to be the last puzzle pieces to set up Legends of Tomorrow. So,
and I am so stoked about Hawkgirl. Like
pretty rad.
Like she was my favorite character, easily
on Justice League.
Oh yeah. I was like, you are a badass. You're Ginger. I'm so excited. Like, I really loved her character. But yeah, so I'm excited.
So our plot for I was just noting this to you, Allie, before we started recording. The storyline for our 2-night crossover event of The Flash and Arrow, unlike last year, they were continuous in that they took place one after the other chronologically, but they weren't the same story. This, however, is a 2-night event of The Flash and Arrow, Central City and Star City, and it is one singular story.
So
2 nights in a row.
Those poor people who only watch one or the other.
They're going to be completely lost.
These are the episodes where you should probably just watch both. Can't hurt.
Yeah, and I'm sure you could tune in to if you watch it as it airs, or if you watch it on Hulu, you could just watch the one episode of The Flash, I'm sure, and then just jump back into the Arrow, or vice versa.
It's not that hard of a show to.
It's really not that. It's really not that complicated. It becomes complicated when you're watching these shows on a streaming format a year later, like you're like marathoning through one on Netflix, and all of a sudden you're like, wait, what's going on here? They should probably actually, hey, Netflix, you should do this. You should make a multiverse channels of your TV shows, and then that way there's events like this, because you already got something like that with Buffy, and you got this. Totally works. Anyway, and I still need to complain to CBS, by the way, before we start talking about Supergirl. Their web player sucks.
Yeah.
It really does. And the thing is, they really got to get on that bandwagon, especially now that they got stuff like Colbert, and you can watch his late show stuff online in clips like you would any other late night show. But you know, if you want to keep the millennial demographic tuned in to Supergirl, they're not going to watch Supergirl at like on a schedule 8 o'clock on Monday nights. I mean, if they do, more power to them. But I haven't done that for the first 3 episodes because I haven't been around at that time.
Yes.
I don't know.
So,
I don't want to.
website sucks.
I don't want to have to steal the show because it doesn't help the show.
No, I understand.
That's my point.
I understand.
But if you want to talk about if you want to talk about Fight or Flight, I actually really liked it.
Me too. I think it's the best one so far, and I know there's only been 3, but
easily.
I thought they kind of nailed down all the other components of the show other than Supergirl this week. A little bit better than they have been.
What's an example?
I thought James was used really well. I thought I kind of like that he's I don't know. I thought his character was good, and I liked that he has his own motives.
Yeah. I really liked that he had an insecurity and how he kind of leaned on his friendship with Clark a little more than you would expect.
Yeah, exactly. And I thought I still think that the two of their chemistry is so good that it's kind of annoying that we know we're gonna have to go through seasons.
They're setting up a love triangle. You can smell it from a mile away. With you can totally tell that Wynn's got stuff going on for Kara. He's super awkward in that way.
However, I found something out about the Wynn character's lore that I didn't know going into this, and I don't want to say it in case something happens with the character later on. It's just a spoiler. So I don't know if I should say it here or if I should tell you after.
Hint at it loosely.
He's not just friendly tech guy.
Okay.
I'll tell you after.
Okay.
But yeah. So you guys can Google the name of the character if you want to know, but I didn't know, and I was kind of more intrigued by the character after I read it. Because so far I'm just he doesn't matter. He is a kind of an inconsequential character so far.
You know what he reminds me of? He reminds me of Tommy.
Well, see, and Tommy was pretty inconsequential.
He is.
Tommy, as much as I liked him, mattered more after he died than when he was
liked
living.
him.
Yeah. Oh, I kind of did. But yeah, so I'm not a fan of Wynn, but I thought all the other relationships were good this week. I liked her and Kat having their interview at the beginning.
Yeah, you liked the little. I really enjoyed the nature of that Q&A. Those two characters interacting with each other in that way.
Yeah, and I liked the little bit about you would never be asking my cousin this because he's a dude.
Yeah, right.
About the question over marriage. It was another
Superman,
way.
When do you plan on getting pregnant?
Yeah. Or married or whatever. So I thought the idea that the show is once again kind of skewering sexism was nice, since that's part of the reason I love the pilot so much was because it was so hurrah, girl power.
I know that you mentioned in your review how she takes a weird jab at millennials and how that seemed a little off, but what stuck out to me was I've never heard a criticism of that generation in that way on TV before.
Really?
I haven't.
Oh, I totally feel like millennials get the shit end of the stick all the time in terms of how they're portrayed as being self-obsessed.
Well, sure, in on the internet, in journalism or something like that, but on TV.
Yeah, I feel like I totally have. Yeah. But they make jokes. They even made a joke about it on The Flash when he moves home and he's like, "It's what we do. I'm a millennial." So I don't know. I mean, it didn't make me dislike the character. It was just a personal eye-rolling moment. But it fits with who she is. It was just for me why did he have to do that? But otherwise, I liked it, and I liked the whole discussion. And I liked seeing her be a journalist. Kind of reinforcing the fact that she got to her place because she's great at her job.
And anybody who has experience writing articles actually vaguely has an understanding of where she was coming from when she was sitting at her desk trying to crank out that article.
Yeah, it's essentially I need radio silence, like everybody go away. Or else I will find 10 things to distract myself with.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember the name. I had the Wikipedia page open for the villain of the week. Reactron.
Yeah.
Last name Krull, alias.
All I recognized him from was the dad from the 100, but you don't watch that show.
No, but you watch that show.
But it's another great CW series. But
and it's on before or after Arrow.
Not until like March. But no, I thought he had fun action scenes. I thought he was kind of lame as a villain overall. Like the motives were pretty weak. But I thought, his reason to target Kara.
It felt like it was ripped out of a 10-cent 70s Supergirl comic.
Yeah.
Basically, his little motivation, like, I have to kill her because my wife got killed. Rawr. Tragedy.
Yeah.
Basically, I kind of liked this. I mean, obviously, it's a moment for Kara as a character to want to be able to prove herself, to not have to be, have her messes cleaned up by Superman, so she can actually make a name for herself, and that he's not just kind of like the one steal. It's not that he's stealing the show. How would you say? It's like she just wants to prove to the world that she can do what he can do.
She just doesn't want to be in a shadow. It's essentially like, stop comparing me. I am my own person. I have my own agency, and I will kick ass. Like, I do not need him as my protector.
Despite that, the scene where she does get knocked out and Superman does kind of quietly come in and knock the shit out of him, it looked cool.
Yeah, it was a good way to do it.
Yeah.
And it was an easy way to incorporate the character and be like, why wouldn't he be coming to help her out? While also not having to cast him and have to go through the legal trouble with DC and Warner Brothers.
between that and between the text messaging she was doing with him at the end of the episode, more than the two before this, Superman actually feels like he exists in this universe, and that's really kind of cool.
Yeah, exactly. And
even though it's her story, it's cool.
Again, and it's a good way, again, to show that he exists, but show that he will not be coming by every episode to save the day. But, yeah. I don't know. Overall, I liked the episode.
I didn't expect any relations of Lois Lane to all of a sudden crop up this early on.
Oh, I read about it, so I did. But
that's just another. It's another love triangle. It's a second love triangle, actually.
I'm hoping it's not. I have a little bit of confidence in
James
the showrunners. No, in the showrunners, in that I don't know if they want to pit two women against each other. Like, I want to see if they'll be like that or not, because I feel like with Ali Adler and whatnot and people behind the show being so female friendly so far, that they wouldn't want to go down such a familiar path with two female characters. But we'll see. Obviously, it's likely it will. It's CBS. It's typical drama, but
I think if they do that, I think they'll at least try to find a way to turn the expectations of those kind of stories on its head. Try to do something different with it. But yeah. Either way,
I think that's all we have to say about Supergirl.
No, either way, ultimately, it was a good day for Supergirl.
Yes.
She did her job. Despite really, really low frame rate. CBS, fix it. So
he just looks like an emoji. Nobody, audio people who aren't watching won't get this, but there's like a grr face emoji, and Evan just did that face.
I was looking at my other webpage, so I didn't see the face that I made. That's okay.
I wish I screen capped it. I'm gonna have my finger hovering over the button now, just in case it happens again.
Or you could just go back to the YouTube video, because this automatically gets archived to YouTube. So if you're listening, you can always watch it if you just want to interact with our faces or something.
I apologize in advance.
For our vanity? Never.
No. That if I seem a little space cadet-y in this podcast, I don't know.
Drunk?
No.
Okay.
Not right now. But
Gotham
no.
Drunk Cast will come up when we have a week with no episodes.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm overwhelmed with writing, and it's making me a little loopy. But yes, okay, let's talk about the Flash.
At least you don't have a terrible nega self trying to slaughter you.
True.
Let's move
Let's
along
talk about the
to
Flash.
let's recap the Flash.
Okay, I don't even want to recap it because anybody
Do
who's
it.
been listening watched the episode. What I want to talk about, and I don't even care if we talk about the rest of the episode, I want to talk about the last 10 minutes. Because the last 10 minutes were dope. They were so
I'm trying. I watched it like yesterday.
when Zoom came.
Okay, from Zoom coming to the end.
Yes. Okay.
It was
epic.
Scary and dire and
Like,
evil.
it was fantastic. What a way to introduce a villain. What a way to pose him as like a legitimate, terrifying, like whirlwind of a threat. Like, Barry didn't stand a chance in this fight, and on top of it, Zoom just kind of beat him to embarrass him. Like,
Yeah.
I thought the whole sequence was some of the best scenes that the show has ever done. Like, I compared it to when the Man in the Yellow Suit episode, when the Reverse Flash finally shows himself to Barry and they have the big showdown, and it was kind of menacing and eerie. But then you come and bring Zoom, and you realize that like the Reverse Flash was barely a threat compared to this guy. So my prediction is still that it's Barry, or it's going to be Earth 2 Barry. But yeah, that sequence just like knocked me out. It was so good.
Regardless of who it is, Zoom is just one of those evil characters. Imagine the bravado of your traditional evil character. Now imagine that multiplied by how many other universes he knows exists. When you are a person that believes that you are the best thing ever, and then all of a sudden you're so confident that you're the best thing out of any multiverse that exists, that is terrifying. So he literally beats him to a pulp, breaks his bones, drags him in front of the press, and then to the police station, and then in front of his friends. Like you said, just embarrassing him.
Just to humiliate him and to show that he's like weak. Oh my god, I thought it was so good. And then Cisco getting the actual shot to like slow him down was awesome too. Yeah. So like the rest of the episode was fine. It was probably really good, but like the part that blew me away when that was the last. I was so crazy impressed by it.
The only thing that irked me a little bit was it felt like that it wasn't set up well enough, that Barry was feeling like he didn't get to have his true vengeance on Reverse Flash.
Oh yeah, that part was true, but that wasn't factored into my last.
No.
Oh, you mean the episode in general?
Just the episode in general, yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was a little weird. It kind of seems like a moment to like kind of insert some drama where it was unnecessary.
Right. It's kind of like, why are we doing this now? What is the point of doing Zoom now?
One thing I wanted to bring up was, do you notice how like instantly charismatic Linda Park became when she wasn't supposed to be a love interest? Like, she was so fun to watch, and she was so engaging this week as playing Dr. Light, that it annoyed me how poorly they used her last season.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah. Well, here's the deal: is that I thought she was fun, if anything, a little awkward, enjoyably awkward, like us. But I felt like I honestly don't even remember a single thing that happened with her last year. So when they brought her back, I just remember that she was. I remembered her more as a coworker of Iris. That I remember that she dated Barry. If anything, I completely forgot until she's like, "Oh my god, I dated the Flash."
Well, doesn't that show you how poorly she was written last season?
I think there's just so much else going on that it didn't even matter.
I mean, she was like there for like a couple episodes dating. Like, I think she was just a really thinly drawn character last season. It was like, oh, she's a cool chick who's a sportscaster, and she's not Iris. Like,
Right.
I thought
This
that
is
was
a
just,
girl. She is not Iris.
yeah. So I think this
Interest
season,
ensues.
like her actually getting like a motive to want to track down Zoom and getting to be along with the Star Labs crew made her more fun, and I think the actress like noticeably had more fun with the role. But yeah.
I especially liked Cisco's cardboard cutouts.
Yeah, that was
Every
fun.
every single one of those was hysterical.
Cisco is a gem, and always the like secret weapon of the series, and I love him. Like him as Vibe is just gonna keep bringing like better moments for the character. I can't wait.
And
Love Vibe.
and Earth 2 Harrison Wells is
Still a dick.
He's still a dick, but I'm enjoying him every single moment. He is now kind of actually the badass dick.
Yes. Who just wants his daughter back.
Yeah, that was an interesting way of going about it, and it was actually I wasn't entirely sure how they were gonna get away with it. Like, oh, Cisco's desperately trying to just touch his skin, and he knows exactly what he's up to. But the ridiculous way that he went about it to figure it out was awesome.
Funny. It's some like needed humor this week.
And like, but when he actually does touch him and he's seen what he's seen, Wells is just like, fuck this shit. I'm out of this room. Get me out of here.
But then he's like so wanting to know what Cisco actually saw about his daughter at the end that it's like, why didn't you let him try earlier?
Well, probably because he wasn't entirely sure what Cisco was going to see in the first place. Because he's obviously hiding things.
Like, yeah, but whatever. Still made me like frustrated.
yeah, no, it is frustrating, but he's a frustrating son of a bitch. So
true that. What else happened? There was actually
the really awkward setup of trying to get Zoom to come through the portal.
I actually thought that was kind of fun.
That was
like enjoyable awkward again, or
yeah, exactly. Enjoyable awkward, especially because Barry's just lying there on the ground and his legs.
I know. I love that he's like, I am so uncomfortable right now. But yeah, I don't know.
He's been getting to do more physical comedy the last couple of episodes, which I think he's prone to. It looks like, which is fine.
Also, it makes sense because it like relates back to the Barry Allen that like I'm familiar with too. For him to get to be a little more witty and funny and like kind of awkward, so he's not like just this suave guy all the time, despite his relations with Patty.
And what was Patty up to this week? She was just kind of asking Joe, like almost like she was just trying to get the whimsical blessings of Joe, and he's like,
just like one other thing, by the way. Why did he care when Eddie was dating Iris? But he doesn't care when Patty's dating Barry. Just like a little bit of a double standard.
I think he kind of, from what I got last season, Joe did care. He was weirded out by it, but he was trying to be supportive of her, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to go back. I would have to go back and watch it.
Yeah.
But it's not. It doesn't. I mean, look. From what I gather, he doesn't really seem to want to care about what Barry's doing with his personal life right now. Anyway, at least that's what he's putting on.
But he shouldn't have cared about Iris's then. It's my point. I don't know. It was something that I caught on to that annoyed me, but I'm sure most people didn't give it.
I can't remember. Is he aware of the whole like supposed future destiny thing with the two of them, or did Barry keep that to himself?
I don't know. I forget.
Because there was this whole spiel where Barry totally opens up to her in the new timeline, and she's like, "What the fuck is going on? What the fuck are you doing?"
Yeah. No, I know. I think she's
and then he retracts immediately. What's that?
I think she's aware. I just don't think Joe is. I don't know. Somebody
We'll have
tell
to
us.
fact check
Clearly,
that. We'll go back to the wikis on this one. It's weird.
Arrow?
Well, hold on. Was there one other thing on the Flash, or was that it? I think that was it.
it.
Huh.
Zoom was the big moment. And it was badass.
I really like his face. It terrifies me.
Face.
Yeah, it's better than a lot of the stuff that Guillermo del Toro's designed in the last couple of years.
Crimson Peak looked beautiful. It just was bad. But
I admit.
it's gonna be Barry. Earth 2 Barry. I never get this shit right, and I'm calling it now.
I mean, look, I think it would be awesome if it was Earth 2 Barry. It's just like, what kind of terrible things would he have to have gone through to become this? It's like this isn't even human. This is a monster.
Which will make it so interesting. But that's my guess.
Holy crap! Holy crap! You know, you remember your OMG moment when Barry hurled lightning a few episodes ago? I had that exact moment when he threw it. He caught it and threw it back at him.
I know. That's when I first realized, like, shit.
This guy is going to be a problem.
Yeah. It was great.
Yeah. Arrow. We got
charming as hell, Stephen Amell. He was so likable and like adorable.
I made a note of this in my review. This episode of Arrow has felt the most like an episode of Flash since the start of the new season.
And I loved it.
Yeah, I thought it was great. Everything felt like it except for Felicity, but that's because she had to be the seriousness grounding part of the episode.
Yeah. No, that's true. And it's kind of funny that she was the serious part where everybody else was the comical.
But I really liked how, because I'm notorious for saying how annoying that Felicity as a character can be when she has to be serious. But in this episode, she's not just like depressed serious, like sad serious. She's frazzled, she is confused, and she's driven and focused. And
yeah, I think
that made her really interesting to watch in this episode.
They gave her like angst, some nuance, which is rare.
Yeah, and
so
where this
like her guilt over Ray is what kind of made it all so interesting to me, because it kind of made sense. She was like, she got so wrapped up in Oliver that she didn't think about anything else.
And the guilt over Ray could have easily turned into old romance suddenly resurfaces to complicate new romance.
Yeah.
But they handled it in a way where it wasn't about having to choose between this guy and this guy. It was about, I feel like I've lost a sense of who I am in the relationship I'm in now. And is this going to become a problem for me?
Yeah, exactly. And I thought it was a very real concern.
I liked the way that they played that. That's not something that I've really seen in a TV relationship all too much. So,
especially on a show like Arrow, which isn't that preoccupied with giving moments like a lot of insight or nuance, which isn't a bad thing either. Like, shows can be surface level, like superhero shows, like it's gonna be fun and we're gonna like the characters, but I thought it showed that Arrow can be smarter than it looks, I guess. You know, they can give moments depth, and I think it's well earned at this point, especially after like the road we've seen the Felicity and Oliver dynamic go. But yeah, so I did actually like her struggles this episode. I thought they felt real, and I don't know.
Her mother showing up out of nowhere. At first, I'm like, what the fuck? Why are we doing this now? But two things that made it okay is by the end, she actually had some really good supportive things to say to her daughter, but also it created an awesome bit where they're about to do their infiltration to get whatever piece of tech that they needed to get Ray, right?
Yeah.
And she's chewing him out on the radio.
Oh, I loved that.
With everybody else able to listen. What does she call him? Like Chatty Annie?
I forget. Chatty. Yeah. I loved the shit-eating grins that Sarah and Laurel both had on their faces when they heard that, because it's like, we've both dated him. and we totally like are enjoying this. So I thought that was fantastic. Yeah, all the humor in this episode was really good.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Talking about Flash-esque, we had Tickle and Oliver sitting down to drink scotch, or sorry, Tennessee whiskey. They're drinking a bottle of Tennessee whiskey that is clearly like iced tea or flat root beer or whatever, and they're just broing out in the lab. That was good.
But I thought that moment was really good, and again, it
No, it
shows
was.
how their relationship has solidified again. And I like that Oliver was honest with his like me and Felicity don't have much in common.
No,
you know?
I was making the point that it was Flash-esque, and it felt like a moment
I know.
that you have with Joe and Barry, you know?
Yeah, sure. No,
Something
I
like
wasn't
that.
thinking that you didn't like it. I really loved that moment,
Yeah.
personally. Ray's back.
Ray's back. The shots with
And
him
Sarah's
in the
going-
tiny little box, with him in the
I
little
know.
box and Damien Dark like hovering over, like
Yeah.
it looked like it was pulled right off of it looked like a moment that was pulled off of an old comic book cover. It was amazing.
I know. And it was kind of fun though and charming in this regard.
And Damien Dark still gets the best puns because he says empty threats feel small.
No.
So Lance is putting himself more and more at risk with Damien Dark being like, man, what the hell are you doing? Yeah.
Lance is gonna bite it, man.
Hey,
no.
Damien, come meet me in the middle of a densely trafficked intersection and let's just talk. Thanks for meeting me in the middle of the damn street.
Yeah, he's gone. I don't see him living this season.
Which sucks. But you know what? When this episode came up, things were almost a little too hunky-dory for the Lance family in the first place. So
yeah, but then Sarah's still like killing people.
Well, right. That's that's what I was gonna lead into. Is of course now she's breaking necks. I thought what was interesting was by the end of the episode, she's like, I got to deal with this a completely different way. And unlike her father, Malcolm Merlin, Thea's like weirdly being accepting of the fact that you have to murder to keep this bloodlust at bay.
Well, no, she's saying that she's learned to deal with it without murder. I don't think
Thea
she's okay
has?
with it. Yeah, she's saying she's done those two guys because Malcolm set her up for it. But she's learned from it, and she's learned that she can control it like she has been. Was my interpretation.
I read her performance differently then.
Different strokes. But yeah, no, overall I thought it was interesting how her, storyline was handled, even though it was kind of quick to just kind of boot her off the show. But I get that they're getting ready for Legends of Tomorrow.
But by that time, I kind of forgot how I really don't like her as an actress.
I don't, but I love her as a stunt performer.
Yeah, no, I mean,
great.
Look, all the Canary stunts are pretty rad, but
I just always love hers because you can tell they're her. Like, if you ever want convincing, YouTube her and stunts, and she probably does as much of her own stunts as Stephen Amell does.
I'll have to look that up. That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's just rad.
Yeah.
Also rad. Holt's getting in on the missions there. That part where he's trying to figure out if the chin fits is a moment out of Batman.
Yeah. Mr. Terrific is coming soon, I feel like, by the way.
Yeah.
But
pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't know if his afro is gonna fit in some kind of helmet or mask or something like that, but I'm
sure they'll manage.
They'll figure it out.
Again, it was a really good it's a really good episode.
Yeah, no, it's a solid episode, and it's the first time I've watched this show where I feel like it's confidently set on the DC tone train. So we'll see if it picks. And not that this season hasn't been like that all the time, but last week we got the Constantine stuff, so you got a little bit of camp in there, but you still had all the League of Shadows, Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah, it really nailed it with this one. I guess without Oliver being the sole source of like comedy.
What do you think they're doing setting up Thea with this annoying little campaign manager kid?
Giving her a love interest because shows can't go 5 episodes without doing that on it. I don't know.
What if she has to kill him?
Frustrating. That'll be more interesting. I don't know.
I'll have to look up this character because he seems completely useless to me.
Yeah, I think it's just like building the campaign up, like as a storyline. They need more characters. They can't have like all of the Arrow team working on the campaign.
Yeah. All of a sudden, I forgot. Next week, Diggle's brother is alive. Who could have seen that coming?
Us, because every character is alive.
On Arrow, yeah.
Yeah.
But also makes you wonder if all the info that Dark gave them on his brother is fabricated or not.
It'll be kind of interesting to see if it isn't, though. Instead of him being one of the good guys, I feel like it'll give Diggle more conflict.
I really do feel like that Dark is playing more games than they're showing on screen for sure.
Probably. So. He's always a couple steps ahead, and I think that's what makes him interesting.
Yeah, definitely. So I mean, that's about it. We got 3 episodes.
We're concise, man.
We're pretty good. Again, we got the Arrow Flash crossover coming up in a couple of weeks, so we're just gonna have to study up hard on some JLA characters.
I'll just have to bust out my Blu-ray Justice League Unlimited set.
Yeah, no, because this is going to be a mini Justice League, and it's going to be pretty awesome.
So awesome! Did you throwing
away
put
that one episode of Smallville to shame?
Did you see the picture of all of them together and suited up?
I did see it. It was pretty cool.
Looks awesome.
Yeah.
So.
Do you remember
I'm so glad. It's like they're totally cheating and like cutting corners to be like, fine, WB or whatever. You say we can't have the Justice League that you guys have, we'll make our own. It's like they took all the secondary characters.
Hey, you know what?
Made a team up that took a lot quicker than the movies.
But you know, because but also the Legends of Tomorrow cast, they've been setting up all those characters pretty much every week on both episodes of these 2 shows for the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, 4? Which in one hand is kind of annoying because I just want to see the story of this show, but on the other hand, they're doing it relatively well enough that it's not a big deal. Yeah,
no, they're tying it into the main plots in a pretty concise way. Yeah. So that's fun. Also, it's better for that show because you get these characters introduced on their own, and the people who are watching these shows can be like, I like this character, or I like that character. I want to know more about that character, and that's more incentive and more possible broad appeal to tune into Legends of Tomorrow when that comes around. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So we're basically gonna have 2 potential. That's more. Yeah, we're gonna have a mini Justice League, and then that show.
Yeah. It's gonna be awesome.
That's
about it, right?
Yeah, no, that's it. Next week we're gonna talk about what's supposed to happen on The Flash next week.
Grodd is back.
Yeah, Grodd is back. That's right. How did I forget?
I don't know.
I don't know how high you can go compared to Donkey Kong with Grodd, but we'll get there. All right, that's it. We're done. You can follow us on TYF Official. I'm at Edgar42. Allie's at Allison AJ. I killed it. We're done.
Done.
Yeah. Cutting it off. Bye-bye.